It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Nova Southern head women's soccer coach, James Moore. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching college women's soccer?
Soccer's always been a passion of mine and a sport that I've been involved in. So after I got finished playing, it was a natural progression to give back to the game that had given so much to me.
What was it like playing for Western Florida?
It was an amazing experience. I spent 2 years there playing one of the elite programs in the country for men's soccer, and as a department, it was a really good building, growing block for me. It was under a head coach who's kind of a mentor of mine now, and he's been there 20 odd years. So he taught me a lot about the game, and then I was fortunate enough to continue to work there and coach there and develop there once I was done playing at West Florida.
What was it like after obviously going to college and playing soccer, getting into professional soccer for 2 years for the Charlotte team?
So professional soccer was something that I played a lot in England as well. So it wasn't my first taste of that, but it's always amazing to kind of call soccer your job for a little bit. So after I graduated, I played in the USL, which was an amazing experience with an amazing bunch of people, something that I'll remember for the rest of my life, some of the experiences and who I still keep in contact with today. So as a soccer player, it's kind of a natural progression and something that you always strive for and dream about. So it was amazing to get that opportunity a second time round after I finished playing in college.
What was it like coming to North Carolina to play for the Charlotte Eagles?
I was based out of Florida before I was there, so when it got to like October, November, it's pretty cold. And I remember when I went to try out in January time, it was pretty cold, so that was a shock to my system. I spent a lot of time in the Florida sun, but it was a young group. It was a coach that I'd worked with previously, so I had a good relationship. I kind of knew what he expected, the demands. And it was an amazing experience to move to Charlotte. It's a beautiful city, lots to do, lots to explore, a lot of culture there as well. And then you marry that with an amazingly talented team of young, hungry athletes. It was a great place to be and an amazing environment and a great organization to be a part of.
What was it like coming off of being a professional athlete, getting into college coaching and getting your first job on the men's soccer side?
I think as about halfway through the season, when I was playing with Charlotte, I kind of realised that this might be my last season. My level of play wasn't what it once was, and as you get older, your body starts to kind of not be able to respond or recover as quickly. And I was a realist at that point, that I knew that this wasn't kind of going to be a career that I could carve out for many years to come. So then, like I say, the natural progression at that point was trying to figure out what life after playing was. It was something that I didn't want to think about, but I was forced to think about just moving forward. The coaching experiences that I had and the coaches that I worked with, I was fortunate to work with some of the best coaches in the world back in England, some of the most elite coaches in college soccer in America, and then in the professional system as well, to work for a variety of different backgrounds, cultures, tactics, principles. So I wanted to kind of to mirror the life that they'd given me and their ability to connect with me and to grow my life and develop my life on and off the field. I wanted to be able to give that back to students, to the youth of the game that have given me so much. So it was kind of a natural progression that I started to look into a little bit at Charlotte. And I just fell in love with coaching, with developing, with creating the relationships with the the individual athletes. And yeah, from the moment that I started coaching after Charlotte, it's something that I've never regretted or never looked back on.
What was it like getting your first men's soccer coaching job at Nova?
So it actually started off at West Florida. So after I finished playing, I went back to West Florida and started working there with, like I say, with a mentor of mine, Bill Elliott. He brought me back. He allowed me to get my master's degree and coach at the same time. And it was an amazing experience. Like I say, the school at West Florida and Bill at West Florida given so much to me. And it allowed me to kind of flourish and to delve into this coaching itch that I had. And then through that, I met kind of another mentor of mine, Matt Watts, who's eventually brought me to Nova. And to really grow and develop under him, it was a massive opportunity for me.
What was that feeling like of going back to your alma mater of West Florida to coach some of the people that obviously you grew up with?
So it was an amazing opportunity for me. It wasn't the easiest situation coming from being a player and a friend to these athletes to obviously now being the coach. It was a transition that I got told would be difficult, but until you're in it, you don't kind of believe it. So the first year, it wasn't the easiest, to be completely honest with you, Brandon, to kind of change that role and how people see you and be able to get that respect at a young age. It took a lot out of me, but it was a great learning opportunity for me. And after that first year, I kind of settled down a little bit more. I became more distant from the team, became more of a coach and a mentor rather than a friend and a teammate. Then after that first year, like I say, I really flourished, developed well, grew, and then I got the opportunity at Nova and continued to kick on from there.
What was that feeling like of leaving your alma mater of West Florida to go to Nova?
It was bittersweet, honestly, Brandon. I mean, to move to Nova to work for Matt Watts was, I mean, it's one of the best jobs in college, the Division II men's soccer level. So it's sad to leave my alma mater, but it was a natural progression for me as development, as a coach, as an individual, as a professional, to go from a GA position when I was studying to a full-time assistant. So yeah, it's been a leave Pensacola. It's an amazing area, but to move to Nova and the infrastructure that they have here and the support, the backing that we have at Nova is immense. And also to work with Matt Watts was a real honor for a couple of years.
What was it like, obviously, in some of your accomplishments on the men's soccer side at Nova?
So Matt and I kind of took over the program at the same time. As soon as he got the job, pretty quickly I moved down with him. And we had an upwards trajectory. I mean, to work with Matt and see what he does every single day, it doesn't surprise me that they lost in the Final Four this year in his fifth season. We took over a program. We broke a lot of records the first couple of years. We kind of got the program to where it should be. And obviously that's for a lot of hard work. We had many achievements and many records, but we just kind of continue to build. And like I say, it's no surprise in Matt's fifth season, his 6th year here at Nova, has achieved the things that he's achieved, seeing the way that he works, and to develop the athletes that they had at Nova into a national contender, and then also to break all the records that he has done. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you the list of them, but like I say, we broke most records, and like I say, the last season for them, although I wasn't a part of it, was the best season that they've ever had on record. So it doesn't surprise me, and they'll continue to break many more records.
How is it like for you to obviously go from coaching men's soccer, playing men's soccer, to then now where you are now as the head women's soccer coach, flipping that role of coaching women versus men?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity that I had. Something that I found the transition pretty easy. There's obviously always group dynamic changes going from female athletes to male athletes and vice versa. I did a lot of research, spoke to a lot of people about that. But in terms of the actual game and how I present my training sessions, my tactics, my understandings, my relationships, it's like I say, it's the same game. The X's and O's isn't the same. the major change is obviously a group of females and a group of males. But once you have a basic understanding of social group dynamics and how they kind of interact with each other and how to get the best out of them, you're dealing with high-end, driven, dedicated people, whether it's a male or a female. So the transition's been pretty easy. I'm extremely fortunate the group that I work with that have made it easy on me. I have an incredible staff behind me. I have incredible players, support staff in the department, that my transition's been pretty seamless. I obviously also, coming from the men's side to the women's side at say university, it made the transition a little bit easier in terms of understanding how Nova works, understanding the expectations, the requirements, and how we can kind of best utilize what we have around us to bring success on the field.
What was it like taking your professional soccer experience over to the women's side of coaching women's soccer?
I think that's helped me a lot. Like I said, going from England, working at one of the best clubs in the world, that experience and seeing how a winning culture and a professional environment is set up. Moving over to America, playing at West Florida, playing at University of Cumberland before that, working with Matt on the men's side. I've always been in and around winning cultures, professional cultures, and that is also followed on to Nova as well. It's a pretty easy transition because of the support that we have at Nova, the facilities that we have at Nova to build that professional environment every day in training, the infrastructure that they have, the support staff that they have. It makes it pretty easy to kind of tailor that to exactly what we need at Nova to make that a winning environment.
Of course, what are some of your future plans on the women's soccer side at Nova?
I mean, future plans is to continue to grow. We talk about every single day as a team. The plan is to every single day is to achieve the best that we can achieve, whether it's on or off the field. We get that in a variety of different ways, on the field, off the field, soccer related, non-soccer related. So the plan at Nova is to continue to build, continue to grow, and continue to challenge nationally to be one of the top universities in the country.
Who are some teams that you face in your conference?
So our conference is built up of many teams. We have teams like Lynn University, Palm Beach Atlantic, Barry, Florida Tech, Emory-Riddle, St. Leo, Florida Southern, Eckerd, Rawlins. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone out. So all our conference is based in the state of Florida. That's why it's called the Sunshine State Conference. And it is, on the women's side, one of the best conferences in the country. As a lot of the sports are around South Florida, it's a very desirable location to be. We have some of the best facilities in the country and playing one of the most competitive conferences in the country as well.
Of course, in your conference, do you get to play your alma mater of West Florida?
I haven't yet. They're not in our conference, but maybe one day nationally we'll go up and play them, or we'll see them somewhere on the road. But I have a lot of time. Joe Batlinski is the head coach up there. He was there when I was there. I have a lot of time and respect and learn a lot from him. So it'll be an honour to play him. But no, at the minute we haven't played West Florida now.
What is that feeling like going to be when you do get to obviously play your alma mater of West Florida?
It's going to be amazing to stand there as a junior, which is when I started there, and to play there, and then to look back now and take a team there and play there and see how far I've come. Hopefully we get to play at West Florida, so we'll get to visit again, see how the university's grown and developed. And I think it would just be amazing to stand on the touchline of once where I ran around. So I think it'll be a special moment. Hopefully we'll get to do it soon. But who knows what the future holds.
What are some of the things that you've accomplished so far as head women's soccer coach?
I've accomplished many things. Obviously, we had a year off with COVID. Last year, we finished third in the conference, which is an amazing end to the season. We unfortunately lost in the last game of the season, in a tight game. So on the field, we've obviously achieved a lot. We had a couple of conference player of the years, regional player of the years. We have over a 3.4 GPA here. We've obviously developed and moved on some staff. Some student athletes have gone on to do great things on and off the field over the last 2 years. So we've had many, many accomplishments, but it is really the start of something special that we're building here to hopefully get in the future some many more achievements.
What is it like as a coach to build upon your legacy at Nova for the women's soccer program?
It's amazing. Every single day, that's what drives me to continue to develop. I'm surrounded by staff that are some of the best in the country. So it really drives me on every single day to interact, to speak to the staff, to see what they're doing and the amazing things that everyone else up and down the hallway is achieving. So it really drives me on every single day. And like I say, to work with the group of players and the staff that I do, it really inspires me every single day to get out of bed and to give them the best that I've got so that they can achieve the best that they've got.
Of course, can you talk about the culture that you've helped build at Nova for the women's soccer program?
Yeah, of course. So, like I say, the culture that we're building is kind of based around the university's culture and beliefs. But it is a winning culture, whether that's on the field, off the field, whether that's in soccer, in life. I really want the program to be a huge stepping stone for the athletes to achieve whatever they want to dream on and go and achieve. I can fortunately use soccer as a tool to teach a lot of life lessons to make them successful in whatever industry or whatever path that they go. Being a Division 2 school is very, very important for me to develop them off the field as much as on the field. We have a lot of players that go and play professionally. We have a lot of players that don't go on and play professionally. But whatever their path, whatever their role, the culture that we embody in Nova every single day is for them to achieve whatever they want to achieve. And my expectations of them are probably a little bit higher than they have of themselves, but it's constantly trying to get them to achieve and to understand that every decision that they make aligns them up for whatever they want to do. And I'm fortunate, like I say, that I can use the tool of soccer to get those experiences every day in practice to hopefully set them up to be amazing people in the communities of whatever industries or whatever education they continue on to.
What does a typical game day look like and some of your game day routines and rituals for the Nova soccer program?
So if we look at a typical home game, we typically play Wednesday, Saturday. So if you take a Wednesday, for example, we'll usually meet as a team, get them some food, have a pre-game meal together. Then the girls will go into the locker rooms, they'll get ready, play their choice of music, which isn't always my choice of music, so I stay away from there. Then we'll go over some video that we've kind of talked about during the week of practice to show them kind of different ideas that we have going into the game, different expectations. They will go out, they'll walk to our stadium field, which is natural grass. It's surrounded by the dorm rooms. The floodlights will be on. Music will be playing. We usually kick off around 7:00. Play the game. After the game, we'll kind of have a quick chat, depending upon how the game's gone and stuff like that. They'll head back to the locker room, and then they'll pick up food from us on the way out. They'll eat, recover, and then make their way home. And then obviously the next day we'll come in and do recovery. And they'll be in classes the next day. So it is a pretty full day. In terms of rituals, I don't typically have many that I can think of right this second, but it's very routine. So if you want to call that a ritual, it's obviously we eat at a certain time, we go into the locker room at a certain time, we have video at a certain time, we get out there at a certain time. But obviously that alters depending upon the kickoff time. So they're not really rituals that I have it within myself.
What are some of the game day traditions that you have helped implement?
Winning is kind of the main tradition. We talk about it a lot throughout the day. But as far as game day traditions, we don't really have that many. The girls kind of take care of those traditions. They do certain things when we win, and obviously that's enjoyable for them. But in terms of actual traditions, I guess just winning is a game day tradition that we try and get out of them every day.
What does the recruitment process look like for prospective student athletes, in particular females that are looking to play college women's soccer?
So the recruiting aspect kind of changes. Last year we obviously had a global pandemic, so that changed the recruiting landscape quite a lot. We're kind of getting back into a little bit more normality and being able to get out. But the main thing is, especially the way I do it at Nova, is I like to see players in person. So whether that's coming into campus, to a camp, whether that's me getting out to national events, whether that's me getting out to individual games if they're local. I spend a lot of my day recruiting, depending upon the season, the time of year. But the main thing in the recruiting process is being seen live. Videos are great, but they obviously only show a small aspect, and it's more what you do off the ball than what you do on the ball. There's a lot of talented players around the world, but it's the mentality and the right person, the right fit that we like to bring into the culture. So that's why we like to see them in person as many times as possible to really get a true reflection of their character, because it's a real tight-knit group here. So if you bring in the wrong character or someone with the wrong desires and ambitions, then it can really unbalance what's going on. So once we obviously see you play a couple of times, we'll obviously continue to build that relationship in terms of bringing you into Nova. And then there's a whole different recruitment process for internationals who we may not be able to get out and see. But like I say, it's based around seeing the players, getting to know the players, and really understanding who they are as a person rather than a player, because that's going to make the biggest difference every single day in their choices. And obviously, they have to be making the right choices to embed into the culture that we have.
What is that like, obviously, as a soccer coach, getting to have the opportunity to also recruit international players, as other sports can't always recruit international players?
I think it's amazing. I think it brings a real diverse playing culture, playing style. It gives different looks on, different positions, different backgrounds. Obviously, naturally being from England, I bring a certain style and certain understanding, certain aspects, just based on my background. The same thing goes for the Europeans, South Americans, Central Americans, and anywhere else in the world. I have a real unique blend that gels together, and we produce a quite amazing products on the field based on that. But America has some of the best soccer players in the world, so I don't avoid that and ignore that portion. About 3/4 of my team are based all around America. About a quarter of my team is based outside of America. But being at Nova, like I say, we live an amazing life here. We have some of the best facilities in Division 2. So we attract a lot of people from all around the world, and it's just up to us to pick the right fit at the right moment to bring into our team to drive us forward.
What does the official visit look like for prospective student athletes looking to go to Nova for the women's soccer program?
It depends on the individual, really. It depends on where they live. Are we flying them in? Are they flying themselves in? Are they staying for the day? Are they staying for the night? But official visits are kind of tailored to the individual. So if you like to study a certain subject, we'll take you to meet a professor maybe. If you want to see a certain area, if you're an outdoors person that likes to ride a bike, maybe we'll take you around and show you where you can ride a bike. If you like to go to the beach, we can take you out to the beach and kind of tailor it. We get to know the person and make sure that we offer everything that they're looking for. So whatever they're looking to study, whatever they're looking to do, whoever they're looking to meet, we always introduce them to the players as much as possible. We always try and get them to train as much as possible, because it is a big commitment to come to Nova, and you have to fit into what we're doing here. It's a kind of a two-way process, an official visit. It's us getting to know them as a person. It's them getting to know us as a coaching staff, as individuals, and trying to figure out, will they gel well into what we're going on here? So it's kind of tailored to the individual, based on what you will do here, your needs, your requirements, whether you're living on campus, off campus. We'll show you kind of all the different objects of what it is to be a Nova student, to hopefully allow you to make the best choice possible moving forward and picking your college.
Of course, as head coach, what's it like seeing those prospective student athletes get to put on that Nova light blue jersey and see if they feel at home in it?
It's amazing. It's the real joy of the job, is to bring someone in and watch them blossom and develop and achieve whatever they want to achieve, and then to graduate them. That's kind of why we do the job, is just to see the progression and development of individuals. So that's the best feeling, when you have a real understanding of what they've been through, and they're walking across that stage at the end and they've got to kind of achieve what they thought they would achieve. And there's a lot of tears and emotions and hard work that goes into that. So that's kind of the main draw and main achievement of the job, is just seeing these incredible student athletes go through what they go through and to come out the other side and have amazing careers in whatever they want to do.
Of course, what advice would you give those prospective student athletes that are in high school looking to play college women's soccer?
To get to know the program, to get to know the individuals, spend a lot of time researching on what you want. There's a million different reasons why you go to thousands of different schools, but you've got to do your research. You have to understand what that program would require out of you. You'll have to understand the demands. You'll have to understand the coaches, because the last thing that you want is to put yourself in an environment where you can't flourish. Not everyone can flourish in every environment, and you don't want to put yourself in an environment that just doesn't really work for you for whatever reason. I mean, not every environment works for everybody. Some players, some people like certain aspects of certain programs, but you don't want to be a month into the season away from your family, away from your friends, away from your home, and realize that you don't want to be there. So my biggest advice would be to really understand that it's not just about the location of university, or it's not just about something that they can study. It's about every single different moment that they're going to encounter throughout a college day that they have to understand, they have to appreciate, and they have to be willing to sacrifice if that's what the program needs of them. If not, they've got to get themselves into an environment where they themselves can be successful. And that just takes a lot of research and a lot of asking questions, speaking to people, whether it's advisors, teachers, coaches, players, alumni, whatever it is, to get the best understanding of what it means to be a college athlete at a given university.
What advice would you give those college women's soccer players that are looking to go on from college to play on the professional route, whether it's the NWSL or U.S. Women's National, or even go overseas?
I think it's the same advice that I give if they want to go play professional or not. It's understanding the commitment, and if that is their goal of how to structure their daily choices, their weekly choices around achieving that goal. We speak about it all the time in the culture that we provide here, is just being the best and understanding the choices and the moments that matter are the difference between achieving and not achieving. Like I say, whether you want to go on and play professional, whether you want to go on and be the best business person, whatever it may be possible, it's the same message to the entire group. It's understanding what it takes, and it's having that single-minded determination to achieve whatever you want to achieve, and to be someone that really grows every single day and doesn't settle. And if they want to go on and play, we're fortunate at Nova to have the tools and the facilities that if they can achieve whatever they want to achieve, whether it's academically or on the field. They've just got to reach out, and they've got to take the opportunities that they're given and make the most of them.
What advice would you give future college soccer coaches looking to get started in coaching college soccer?
The advice that I'll give to future, get to know, network, get to know people, never be happy thinking that you know it all, be a constant life learner, try and get involved as soon as possible, try and understand if it is something that you want to be involved in. It's not an easy job. I spend months and months and months working a lot of hours, and there's not always the reward that you want at the end of it, but it's got to be a real passion of yours and a real calling that you have to do this year after year after year. So it's trying to get involved in it as soon as possible. Obviously get your badges and your understanding, and get the licenses, and to just try and coach and immerse yourself in it as soon as possible, as much as possible, because without the love of the game and the love of what you do, it's an incredibly hard job.
What advice would you give for those coaches that are just like yourself, that went from coaching men's soccer to now coaching in the women's soccer?
I think it, again, is just trying to figure out the reason why you want to do that. And is that the right move for you? Have you spoken? Have you coached? Have you been around different programs, whether it's male or female? And then, like I say, it's really trying to hone in on what you want to do in your life. And if that's something that you truly believe that you want to do, and the path that you want to take, it's trying to figure out how to get that first step and open that first door for you to achieve what you want to achieve.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Nova Women's Soccer Program at?
Say that again, sorry, Brandon.
Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Nova Women's Soccer Program at?
So the Nova Women's Soccer Program has Twitter and Instagram. It's on Instagram and Twitter. I believe it's NSU_W soccer. But I'm sure we can confirm that and maybe get a link on your page, Brandon, under this video. And that's the best place to follow us. We post a lot of videos showing day-to-day life. A lot of our recruits will watch the videos, and if you have any more interest in getting to know it, you can just contact me. My email address is on the Nova's website under the women's soccer page, and I can get you any information that you need for the social media or recruiting or anything like that.
Thank you again, Coach James Moore, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Nova Women's Soccer Program.
No worries. Appreciate you, Brandon. And like I say, if anyone needs anything in the future, just reach out to me. We're happy to develop and help anyone that wants to.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach James Moore, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Women's Soccer Program.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.